opposite me, a princess in a paper crown. Next to her is Donna, wearing a satin top with a plunging neckline that requires 90% of my brain power to resist staring at for the entire night. I've spent over 100 hours trapped in a cramped checkout booth with these twin goddesses, my libido kept in check by the desexualizing Woolworths uniforms, my inability to speak to them shielded by a constant barrage of grumpy Christmas shoppers, but now I'm on my own. With each passing minute, my silence cements my status as loser virgin while the alpha males of the group bide their time at the bar, needing little more than the occasional cheekily predatory glance across the room to communicate their sexual availability. Worse still, while the double vodka that Graham slipped into my orange juice with a paternal wink is loosening my body and freeing up vital confidence, it's also making me horny, which fucks my concentration. I fantasize an unlikely scenario in which Amy and Donna's mounting boredom results in them inviting me back to a house where parents are absent, the drinks cabinet is unlocked, and the lack of swimwear to wear in the jacuzzi is not an issue. At which point Mrs. Cake waddles into my field of vision, putting pay to my erotic imaginings with the image of a wilting flower accompanied by a flatulent trombone flourish. Mrs. Cake is a dome-shaped Scottish hen whose name isn't really Mrs. Cake, it just looked like it should be. I'm destined to one day blurt out this transference in front of her, and am already equipped with all manner of hunger-related excuses for when that moment arrives. This is very Moorish, says Mrs. Cake to no one in particular. I think I'll have another slice of cake. This causes me to burst out laughing. Amy and Donna break off from their conversation and look at me. What's so funny, asks Donna, blessing me with a mild wide smile, and it requires great mental effort to process her question, rather than simply zone out watching the exquisite movements of her lips and teeth. Oh, nothing, I reply, with roguish nonchalance, attempting a relaxed ruffle of my hair but succeeding only in dislodging a green paper hat. I was just laughing at Mrs. Cake. Who's Mrs. Cake, asks Amy, and as this is possibly the greatest ratio of attention to beauty I've ever been on the receiving end of, I'm understandably slow in responding. Oh, sorry, I meant Sandra. You call her Mrs. Cake, asked Donna, chewing on this information like it's a delicious morsel of goddess food. That's so naughty. The pronunciation of this last word mercifully fails to cause my erection to burst through the mahogany table, sending roast chicken components flying into the elaborate headpieces of passing dignitaries. From this conversational high point, the only way is down. It's therefore a minor miracle when Graham returns to the table with another drink for me. Get that down, you son, he says, plonking the glass down. It'll put hairs on your chest. While this reference to prepubescence doesn't do me any favours, it does helpfully inform the girls that there's alcohol in my drink. I take a manly swig and exhale with exaggerated satisfaction, at which point events take a decidedly sinister turn. Come on, kid, says Graham, rubbing his hands together and not even attempting to avert his gaze from Donna's breasts. It's time for party games. I grabbed the final opportunity for female bonding by exchanging a weary eye roll with Amy and Donna, but my fate has already been sealed. In truth, it's not as bad as it could be. The youngsters apathetically accept early defeat in a game of musical chairs and hide at the back of the bar, allowing the older members of staff to act out their undignified mating rituals unthreatened by the presence of youthful beauty. Secret Santa does the rounds. Numerous bottles of chocolate body paint are unwrapped and suggestively commented on. Somehow I am now sitting in between Amy and Donna, the thread of a public erection neutered by the sight of an obscene party game involving balloons, bicycle pumps, and a middle-aged conga line of alternating gender. This grotesque tableau is soundtracked by Wigfield's Saturday Night. Graham gallops past, piggybacking Nancy, who whips him with a napkin like an excited jockey. Graham, almost choking on his own laughter, eventually dumps her onto a bar stool. He catches Donna's eye and points over his shoulder with his thumb. "Fancy a ride, love?" Donna rolls her eyes and turns to face me. "So," she says, "I hardly know anything about you. Do you have a girlfriend?" "Not at the moment, no." "I find that hard to believe, a good-looking guy like you." I'm grateful for the disco lights concealing the reddening of my cheeks. "Do you have your eye on anyone?" asks Donna, lighting a cigarette as Amy turns to join the conversation. "What are you talking about?" asks Amy. "I was just asking if there's anyone he fancies." "Oh really?" says Amy. "Do tell." Fuck it, I think. I'm drunk, I might as well go for it. "Maybe," I say. "You both seem nice." Amy giggles. "That's sweet," says Donna, exhaling smoke and smiling. "But I meant, is there anyone your own age?" The hotel door swings shut behind me and I inhale the cold sea air. Wandering along the seafront, I spy a couple engaging in some moonlit canoodling. I hate them. It's still early, so I decide to take the scenic route back to Benny's house. The oldie medieval village of Cockington might offer me some comforting solitude, and failing that, at least Benny's as frustrated as I am. Inevitably, I get lost and find myself once again staring at the thatched roof of the blacksmith's forge, unable to figure out how my route became circular. I kill time convincing myself I've actually travelled back to the Middle Ages, ready to amass fascinating personal insights for an award-winning history project, until a car drives by and ruins the illusion. Unwilling to surrender my fairy tale fantasy, I head into the woods, away from intrusive technology and hopefully also from the medley of crap disco hits still ringing in my ears. I discover a small picturesque lake traversable by a rickety wooden walkway. Halfway across the walkway is a hexagonal jetty shaded by willow trees. In the centre of the jetty lies a beautiful girl in a white dress, apparently unconscious. I kneel down beside my sleeping beauty and take a closer look. She has long golden curls and divine curves. Amy and Donna are distant memories. I still do not know what cruel spell rendered her dormant, but I know what this situation requires. I kiss her lightly on the lips. The girl giggles and blinks awake. "Hi," she says with a smile, then a confused look as she fails to recognize me, the reality of my violation only now dawning on me. "I'm sorry about that. I thought you were a fairy tale princess and I couldn't resist." She giggles again. "That's sweet," she says. "God, I'm so drunk. Where am I?" "Cockington." "Right, my friends have obviously left me. Do you have the time? I'm supposed to be getting picked up at 11. 10:30, so you've got plenty of time." "Plenty of time," she says. "God, I'm so drunk. Drunk and horny." She grabs my hand and places it on her breasts. Her dress is low cut, even more so than Donna's, but the contact with female skin is such a shock that my hand just hangs there limp. "What's wrong?" she asks. "Don't you like me?" "Of course, but I'm not going to take advantage of you when you're pissed." "Wow, you're so sweet. Most guys would have pounced on me." "I'm not most guys." This isn't intended to sound as smooth as it does. It's just a literal response. "Do you think you can help me find my way?" she says, leaning up on her elbows. "My dad's picking me up from the top of Cockington Lane." "Of course." I help her to her feet, and the feeling of her body leaning close to mine almost makes me regret my sexual reticence, but I don't want to trick anyone into sleeping with me. Maybe I can get her number and attempt a meeting when we're sober. "Thanks," she says, adjusting to the vertical plane. "I'm Joanna, by the way. Good to meet you. Come on, let's get you home." She puts her arm around